Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Constantine Hess, current Commandant General of His Majesty's Corps Royal Marine, and you cadets are in for yet another lesson in your training, and that is the rating and defending dynamics, and I mean how we label ourselves. So to start off, the different R&D which stands for rating and defending labels are Imperialist, Defender, Raider, which is the current label of the Kingdom of Great Britain, whereas it was previously Imperialist, Independent, and Neutral. So to start off, we'll go with Imperialists. Imperialists use their hard and soft power to obtain their political goals. The current most prolific Imperialist region is the Land of Kings and Emperors, led by Emperor Underkelkia. They have been around for, I want to say, close to a decade, if not a decade or over. And they're one of the best piling forces in the entire game. If you need pilers, you go to them. Their update ability has shrunk some over the years, but they are still most certainly a powerful military force on the battlefield. They used to also be a member of an organization some years ago known as the United Imperialist Armed Forces, or otherwise known as the UIAF, which is made up of the Atlantic Kings and Emperors, the New Inquisition, which is turned into more of a backwater roleplay region. Though at the time it was a good piling force and it had a top-notch intelligence agency in the game, and of course Albion, which again has more turned towards roleplay since the downfall of the UIAF. Excuse me. So Imperialists, they in recent years have been more willing to use offensive military power. They tend to align more so with raiders such as KGB, such as the Blackhawks, such as Lone Wolves United, such as Firehelm, another place in Hydra Command, and other places like that. However, they are more than willing to act against raiders too, as they have acted politically, not necessarily militarily, but politically against the invaders, which is another prolific raiding group. So let's move on. Raider. Raiders use their hard power for the sake of causing grief for natives of a region, and for the joy of raiding together and accomplishing whatever end goal it is that they set for themselves, be that simply reaching a set number of regions raided in one night, or the refound of a huge region over the course of months. The current raider regions in the game are as follows: us, the Marine Corps of KGB, the Blackhawks, the Invaders, the Mafia Guild from Equinox, Firehelm, Hydra, Lone Wolves United, USSF from USSD. Oh, I'm probably forgetting some others. I apologize to you if you're watching if I did. Oh, and the Invaders if I didn't say so before. Raiders is pretty straightforward. We only use offensive power with the exception of attacking the fascist circles of nation states, or if we are attempting to take down a region that we are at war with, which KGB is currently at war with the organization known as the Grey Wardens. Moving along, Defender. Defenders do whatever it is they can in order to stop the forces of raiders and in certain instances Imperialists. However, we have seen in the aftermath of the Predator incident of early to mid-2016 that defenders are willing to use offensive tactics in order to take down raiders, which we have seen coming out of the Grey Wardens. They are the ones that have been doing this, or at least they did before the departure of Benevolent Thomas and the decline of TGW. This is pretty straightforward. Defenders are the counterbalance to raiders. In recent years, raiders have more or less run the field of battle. We do what we want, when we want, and defenders really don't have a lot of success at stopping us. They do have the occasional victory, but those are few and far in between. The Grey Wardens are, of course, are an enemy of the Kingdom of Great Britain, and they do use offensive power. Similar to how an Imperialist acts. Moving along. Independence. In terms of actual game mechanics, independents don't vary that far away from how Imperialists operate in that they use their hard and soft power to accomplish their goals. However, as we see with the current leading independent region, Europia, commonly known as Euro, they tend to be different in what their armies do on the battlefield. They don't tend to attempt regional refound, while Imperialists will do so if it meets their goals. They don't do much in the way of griefing a region, which Imperialists do. Pretty straightforward. Independents tend to be more what they call professional. They tend to not want to leave too much of a bad taste in the mouths of those that they raid, and so on. They are, of course, willing to defend if it meets their goals as well. Moving right along to neutrals. Neutrals, in short, don't give a shit. They prefer to not take part in R&D, and some would prefer that R&D do not exist. Pretty straightforward. They don't care. They don't want any part of it. They get really pissed off when you raid them. And it's funny. It is extremely funny, as we can see on the R&Bs of the Illuminati and the South currently, which are both being held by raider forces. In conclusion, that's how the labels on R&D work. If you have any questions, ask myself, Deputy Commandant General Owen Hess, Brigadier Arthur K. Vicentius, Brigadier Nix Lancaster, Colonel Imoots, or squad leaders, platoon leaders, or battalion commanders. This is Constantine Hess, teaching you how R&D works.